And the Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, joins me now. Ms. Freeland, thank you so much for taking time with us today. You took over this job in the middle of a pandemic. Nothing is certain now. You don't know where the bottom is or how bad things will get. Is this a case of planning for the worst and hoping for the best?
Always, absolutely. And it's actually a great point and a great question, Dawna. What we've tried to do in our fiscal projections for the nerds among your viewers is offer a couple of scenarios, including very much a worst case scenario. And we've built all of our projections on that worst case scenario because I think that that's the prudent thing to do. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
This is a startling amount of money to spend. How can you reassure Canadians that it is enough to stabilize the economy? And also, why didn't you include a fiscal anchor, put a limit or a cap on how much you'll spend?
So it is a lot of money. And I want to start by assuring Canadians that I take that very, very seriously. I think the first thing that should be reassuring to all of us is that our debt servicing charges are imminently manageable. They are actually the lowest they have been in 100 years. And we are working very hard right now to push out the maturities on our debt to lock in today's low interest rates. So that would be point one. To your second question of will this be enough? It goes back to your first one, that we have really built several layers of projections, and we have built our growth plan on the basis of the most pessimistic projections. So yes, I really believe that this will be enough. Our plan is working so far. We've recovered 80% of the jobs lost at the bottom of the crisis, and I am really confident that we're going to be able to come roaring back.
And what about the fiscal anchor, putting a limit or a cap on how much you're prepared to spend?
Excellent question. And we did something very meaningful in that direction today, which is we are going to bring in something that I am calling fiscal guardrails to guide our stimulus spending. So there's a really meaningful question that Canadians should ask themselves that I will be asking myself when it comes to the growth plan. And that is, when do you know you're finished? When do you know you've done enough? The fiscal guardrails will do that, and they are very focused on jobs. So we're going to look at the rate of employment, the rate of unemployment, and hours worked in the economy. And that's going to let us know how much we need to put into our growth plan and when it's finished. And that's why we offered a range today. We said between 3 and 4% of GDP, $70 to $100 billion. And we did also say, the question of fiscal anchors is an important one. And we said today that as the economy gets back to normal, we will bring in fiscal anchors as well.
I know you don't have a crystal ball, of course, but when do you think Canadians can begin to breathe easy again? It won't be the moment a successful vaccine is approved, but I don't know, maybe in 3 to 6 months from then?
Dawna, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can say today, which I think would have been more difficult for us all to say a couple of months ago, is we know for sure this pandemic is going to end. We know for sure there are now at least 3 vaccines that have shown very good results. And Canada has an extensive portfolio of vaccines, the strongest portfolio of vaccines in the world. So what we can say for sure is, it is going to be a hard winter. And I think we need to kind of mentally fasten our seatbelts for a difficult couple of months. But the vaccines are coming. We know the pandemic will end. And we also know that thanks to really the historic support the federal government has provided, individual Canadians and Canadian businesses are in pretty good shape going into that growth plan. And we're going to provide them with a little more fuel to have real takeoff.
All right. Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland in Ottawa, thanks, and all the best to your family.
Okay, you too, Dawna. Very nice to talk to you.